Let's be honest, people. Horror movies are made to give you nightmares. But here's the thing. Sometimes the real horror takes place completely behind the scene. Yep, that's right. If you think blood, gory scenes, demons, and a whole bunch of haunted houses are only found in horror movies, well, I'm here to vanish that thought from your mind. You see, some of these horror movie productions were marked with not only bizarre accidents, but also the most spookiest events. Take, for instance, The Exorcist. This 1973 hit was a spine-chilling show on its own. The film told the terrifying story of a young girl, Regan, who becomes possessed by a demon, and how there were so many terrifying exorcism attempts made to bring her back. Trust me when I say that this movie will give you nightmares for a very long time. But enough about the plot of the movie. You see, so much suspicious stuff went down at this set. One of the actresses, Ellen Burstyn, suffered a back injury so bad that it left her on crutches for the rest of the film's production. In fact, remember those screams of pain you hear from her in the movie? Those were real. Not only that, but in the early days of production, one of the two sets burned down completely. That too without any reason. But the most creepiest part was that even though both the sets were pretty close, Regan's bedroom where the exorcism was going to be performed was saved. A mere coincidence, or was something more sinister at work here? Finally, the director, William Friedkin, had enough and decided to call a priest. Yeah, an actual real-life priest was called to perform an exorcism. But did it help? Nope. The whole thing did little to stop the curse. Some believe that the curse was so bad that it started affecting people who watched the movie. There were several reports of audience members having heart attacks in the theaters. Yikes. To top it all off, more than 9 people who were part of production lost their lives in some very unnatural ways before the film could even hit the theaters. Whoa. Still, this isn't the only haunted film set on your list today. Poltergeist took things to another level. The events that took place on this set were not only suspicious, but tragic too. You see, there were rumors going around that the crew of the movie was actually using real human remains as props. And are you guys curious to know why? Well, according to a source, it was because they were cheaper than the plastic ones. Unbelievable. What's more is that the actress Heather O'Rourke, who played the iconic Carol Ann, died while finishing work on the sequel, Poltergeist 3. She suffered a cardiac arrest, yet some people believe that the actress was actually cursed during filming. Tragedy struck once again on set when Dominique Dunne, who played older sister Dana, was murdered by her ex-boyfriend just a day after the first movie premiered. At this point, the crew was so freaked out that they refused to show up. It was only when the producer, Will Sampson, decided to have the set exorcised before filming that things finally calmed down. Next on the list is The Omen. Legend has it that as many things happened on the actual set of the film as in the movie. Some of the tragedies included the son of lead actor Gregory Peck taking his own life as soon as filming began. If that wasn't enough, an airplane in which Gregory and the movie's executive producer were traveling in were struck by lightning in 2 separate incidents. And months before, when their writer was riding in an airplane, I mean, you guys can pretty much guess at this point what happened. Yep, it was struck by lightning. But none of these were the biggest tragedy to befall the cast and crew of The Omen. You see, the crew decided to use a private plane to go from one film location to another, just because it was easier and more convenient to do so. But just when the plane took off with a bunch of crew members, something went terribly wrong. The plane went out of control and hit a car. Everyone involved in the accident was killed on the spot. In addition to all of this, one of the crew members was seriously hurt while driving to the set in a car accident. I get it, people. It's a lot to process. It's no wonder why Peck refused to do any sort of publicity for the movie before it came out. If I was him, I would have just run in the complete opposite direction. At this point, I think they've got the strongest case for a curse. It's safe to say that fear was everywhere. Speaking of fear, let's talk about Rosemary Baby. This production wasn't even able to hire crew members for a very long time, all because of the horrors taking place. William Castle, who was the most excited to bring the movie to everyone's screens, soon released what a horrible mistake he'd made. It all started when the legendary horror movie producer got an anonymous letter that read that he would slowly rot during a long and painful illness. Whoa, scary, right? But it gets crazier. Soon after, William actually collapsed and had to go through surgery to fight a problem that would plague him for months. What's more is that Krzysztof Komeda, who composed the musical score for the film, died in a freak accident too. But that was just the beginning of it all. One time, the entire cast got so sick from food poisoning that production had to be stopped for a while. Such an ominous sign to stop working, don't you guys think? In addition, one of the movie's producers suffered a stroke while driving home from the set. Yikes. The number 4th spot on this list is taken by Annabelle the Doll and The Conjuring. At this point, all of us know about the super hit film, The Conjuring. It literally took the world by storm. I cannot even tell you guys how many times I've rewatched it just for that cupboard scene. With all the demonic activities taking place in that house in real, it's no wonder that the ghosts decided to mess with the crew members during filming as well. As soon as filming started, some really strange things started to happen. Like sometimes the light fixtures would fall out of nowhere, or the light would start flickering. Different people on set would keep getting nosebleeds that only stopped after they would leave the house. But what scared the beesus out of everyone was the Annabelle doll moving on its own all the time. That's right. According to a source, the doll would be left in a room and would then disappear. It used to show up at completely random places. The whole disappearing act became so normal that crew members weren't even surprised or shocked by it anymore. Vera Farmiga, who played the part of Lorraine Warren, would mysteriously and repeatedly wake up between 3 and 4 hours in the morning on set. And you guys really don't need me to tell you about how that time is known as the Devil's Hour. Ironically, the spirit of the movie really came alive on set. Now, last but certainly not the least cursed movie on our list is The Possession. This 2012 movie had an unlucky fate, just like all the others in this video. It revolved around the demonic possession of Emily Brenneck and how her family responded to it. From the start, the atmosphere on the set was uneasy, all because weird things started happening, like the lights exploding for no apparent reason, or feeling gusts of winds in a room with closed doors. But the scariest incident occurred when the storage facility, where all the props of the set were being kept, caught on fire and burned to the ground. An investigation into the fire revealed that there was no evidence of either arson or an electrical fault. So, only one question remained. What had caused the fire? The investigators ruled it up to undetermined factors, but everyone on set knew the reality. After all, the Dybbuk box that was used in the movie was the only thing that was not destroyed in the fire. Too much of a coincidence, right? Later on, the crew even refused to allow the movie's producers to replace the box, all because they feared that it cursed and something more disastrous would happen if they did. Can't really argue with that. That's it from my side today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and do comment down and let me know what you people think. Which movie set was more scary, The Exorcist or one of the others? Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, my brave fellows.